everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Blair. Thank you for watching this video today. I am doing a new What's New Wednesday video, and we are talking about the new Revlon Candid Glow Foundation. I also did pick up the Candid Concealer, the Candid Powder, and then a new primer from Revlon as well. So I'm going to test all these products out today and do a little bit of a wear test, and we will see what we think about this foundation. If you're interested in seeing my thoughts and first impression on the Revlon Candid Glow Foundation, please keep watching and please subscribe if you have not done so already. I post new videos every Wednesday and every Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go ahead and get into the video. We're going to start out with a new primer that I picked up. It's the Revlon Colorstay Prep and Protect Primer. And this has SPF 34. So we're going to try this out today. Oh, okay. It's very liquidy, like sunscreen. It's SPF 34. That's kind of random. Why 34? Okay, so that primer dried down to a really matte finish. It's not sticky or anything like some sunscreens can be. So I'm very curious to see how this will be under this foundation. But I do like the way it feels. It feels like it is going to be a nice base for my foundation. So I'm excited about that. So the primer has set down, and we're going to go in with the foundation now. So a little bit about this foundation. This is obviously the glow version of the original Revlon Candid foundation. I actually had a hard time finding this. Actually, the only place I have seen this is at CVS. I've not seen this anywhere else. I'm not sure if it's exclusive to CVS or not. I couldn't even pull this up on Revlon's website, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I did find this one in store at CVS. So the shade range is considerably smaller than the original Revlon Candid foundation. That one comes in 31 shades, whereas this only comes in 16 shades. So I'm not sure why. I'm not sure, maybe they'll expand the glow version if it's successful. I don't know, but it definitely does not have the shade range that the original has. So we are going to go ahead and try this out. I got mine in the shade 120 Buff. And this is what packaging looks like. So it looks very similar to the original Candid. It just has this rose gold kind of metallic packaging. So it does come with a pump. So this foundation is supposed to go on kind of like a moisturizer. So it's supposed to be really lightweight and glowy, obviously, on your skin, but it is also supposed to be buildable. So I think it's supposed to be more of like a medium to buildable coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and put some on the back of my hand, like normal. So that's one pump. So it's not super runny, which is interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dot some on my face. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this in with this Zoeva 104 buffer brush, and then I'm going to go back over it with my sponge. So I only pumped out one pump of this, but it's a good bit. I still have all that left on my hand. So keep that in mind. You may only need to use half a pump for your whole face. So this color does look like it's a pretty good match for me. There weren't as many colors in this one, so there weren't a ton of choices that looked like they were close to my skin tone. So that was one pretty sheer layer. I still have a good bit on the back of my hand. So the color is really good. The coverage right now I would say is a very light medium coverage, maybe more of like a heavier light coverage, but it is supposed to be buildable, so I'm going to add what's left on the back of my hand and we will see how much more coverage we can get. But my first impression is the finish is very pretty. It is glowy, but it's not, it has a glow, but it's not dewy. I mean, like it looks very natural. I would say it's not an overly shiny looking foundation. It looks like a really pretty natural finish on your skin. So I do like that so far. So I'm gonna go in and add what's left on my hand. And I'm gonna go over that with my damp Flower Beauty sponge. Okay, so this is one full pump, so I don't have anything left on my hand. Like I said, I really like how this looks. The coverage is not a lot though, and that was just one pump, so we'll add a little bit more and see if we can build it up a little bit more. I do think with the second half of the pump we built it up a little bit, but it's definitely not a medium coverage, I don't think. It's very, very lightweight. It reminds me of a tinted moisturizer. But the finish, I love. I mean, it looks super, super natural. It does not look makeup-y at all. So I really, really like that. So it may be one of those situations where you may not get a ton of coverage from this, but you could always spot conceal with some concealer, which is what I do with a lot of my lighter weight and lighter coverage products. So I'm gonna go back in with like, I would say it's not even really half a pump. It's a good bit, but that's not even half a pump. I'd say that's like pushing it down just slightly. And we'll see if this builds up at all. It is really, really lightweight feeling. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in with my Flower Beauty sponge, which, side note, if you have not tried this Flower Beauty sponge, this is my new favorite sponge. It is so soft and it just, oh my gosh, it just feels like a pillow you're bouncing on your face. It feels so good. I think you have to get this from Flower Beauty or from Walmart, but I would highly recommend. So it built up a little bit, but definitely not a ton, I don't think. So I don't know how buildable this is. I really like the way it looks though. I think it's really, really pretty, and it doesn't bother me that it's not a ton of coverage because I do all the time just go in with a concealer and spot conceal with lightweight face products. I actually usually prefer to do that on a daily basis. So that does not bother me. I did think for some reason this was going to give a little bit more coverage than this, but it doesn't bother me. Like I said, my first impression is I love the finish. I think the color is pretty good for me. It's just the coverage is not fantastic. So I am going to let this set for a second and then I will be back and we will try out the Revlon concealer. Okay, so I did go ahead and apply a little bit of my Urban Decay Naked Skin Peach Corrector under my eyes, like I always do. And now we're gonna go into the Revlon Candid Concealer. So this is not a new concealer. This came out with the original Revlon Candid Foundation, but I never tried this. So I wanted to get it to try out with this new Glow Foundation just because I was curious. I got mine in the shade 005 Fair. So the back of this concealer says a concealer with caffeine, antioxidants, anti-pollution, and anti-blue light without sulfates, phthalates, and no harsh fragrances. And this claims to be a medium coverage concealer. So we are going to go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to blend that in with the pointed side of my Flower Beauty sponge. Never mind. That one's really hard to do your concealer with because it's kind of fat on the end. So I'm going to go into my Wet n Wild sponge. So this concealer feels like that foundation in that it's really, really lightweight. It's not thick. It's not a thick concealer at all. Okay, so the concealer is definitely medium coverage. I would agree. It's definitely not a full coverage, but that looks really good. A lighter weight or a less coverage concealer is going to look better, in my opinion, over a lightweight product like this. It is not a super moisturizing looking concealer though. I think it looks a tiny bit dry to me under my eyes. So if you, like, it's not creasing, but it just doesn't look super moisturizing. I'm looking in my mirror right here and I can see pretty close. It's just not super moisturizing looking on me. But it looks pretty nice. I don't know that I'm obsessed with how it looks. I'm going to take a little more. And I'm just going to apply some on the cheek area. I'm going to blend it in with my sponge and just see what kind of coverage that gives. It looks pretty good. I will say I definitely like the foundation more than the concealer. I just have other drugstore concealers that I like a little bit better. This one just, even when I put it on my cheek area, it just looks a little dry to me. I don't know. I like the finish of the foundation. I don't love it on the concealer though. But the concealer is not part of the Glow line, so this is not supposed to be a super glowy concealer. And yeah, I definitely am not super crazy about it. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. I'll say this, if you don't struggle with dark circles or you don't have a ton of things you need to cover under your eyes, you might really like this because it's very lightweight and it doesn't look cakey at all. It's just not really moisturizing. So if you need something that's really going to help kind of liven up your under eyes, I don't think this is the concealer for you. But if you don't have much to cover and you just want a little bit of something under your eyes, this might be the perfect concealer for you. But it's definitely not my favorite off my first impression. We'll see how I feel once I set my face and do the rest of my makeup. But not obsessed with the concealer, but I do so far like the foundation. So I am going to set my face with a little bit of powder. And this powder is also the Candid powder. It says new on it, but I feel like this is not new. I feel like this has been out. This one is in the shade 001 Translucent. So it just comes in a normal little sifter here. That's what it looks like. I'm going to set under my eyes. So that powder looks really good under my eyes. It doesn't look cakey or anything, so that is a good sign. So I'm going to take a little bit more and a big powder brush And I'm just gonna lightly set the rest of my face. Okay, so I did go ahead and set the rest of my face, and I did really like this powder. It's a very, very finely milled powder, and it's not a white translucent powder. It's more of that kind of just a light skin tone shade, which is what I prefer. I don't usually love really white setting powders. I prefer one with a little tiny bit of color to it. So I really like that. It looks pretty good under my eyes too. It does not seem to be creasing or caking into where I have that concealer, so that is a good sign. I'm just not obsessed with a concealer. I don't like the coverage. I like a tiny bit more coverage, but that's because I have more color under my eyes that I need to cover. So that's just me. But I don't think it's a horrible concealer. It's just not what I typically go for. But like I said, if you don't have a ton to cover, this might be a really good one to look into because it is really lightweight. It's not thick or gross feeling, and it did set down pretty easily. So this, for the right person, might be a really great option. So I am going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and we'll see how everything is looking with the rest of my face products. Okay, so I did go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and this is what everything is looking like. So this I really like. I like that it has sunscreen. I really like that it's kind of a 2-in-1 where you get your sunscreen and your primer all in one. I really like that, so I'm very curious to keep using this. I'd like to try this with some other foundations too, just out of curiosity, but it went on really well, and definitely really, really impressed with that so far. This foundation, I like it. I don't know how glowy I think this is though. In my opinion, it doesn't look super, super glowy. It just looks like a natural looking foundation. So I would not let the word glow, Candid Glow, scare you away, because it definitely is not super glowy. It just looks like a very natural finish to your face. I have a little more to cover. I have some redness, and then I have discoloration under my eyes. So this buildable coverage is not enough to cover everything, but that does not bother me personally. So it's really going to come down to your personal preference. If you want to cover everything, if that's the case, then you're probably not going to love this. But if you want a lightweight product just to lightly even out your skin tone, this is really nice. I don't love the concealer, and I really wanted to. I just don't get the coverage that I like personally from this. But like I was saying earlier, I think for some people this can be a really great concealer, but you really are going to need to not have much to cover. For the powder, I really like the powder so far. I have really never found a drugstore powder that I was absolutely obsessed with. I don't know why, I've just never found one that I thought was as good as some of my higher end powders, but this so far on my first impression I really like. I like how it looks on my face. You really can't see the powder, which I really like. It's not that thick cakey powdery look, which I really like, and it goes really well over this or with other lightweight products. So far so good with the powder. Really liking this so far. So I will be back in a few hours and we will check in and see how everything's looking. But right now, pretty impressed with these products, and I'm excited to see how they wear throughout the day. So I will see you guys in a few hours. Hi guys, so it is a few hours later since I first applied my foundation, and I wanted to do a quick check-in with you. I'm kind of on the fence with this. I like it, but I don't love it. It's not that I think it's horrible. It's a decent foundation if you like lightweight products and you like less coverage. It's nice. It looks nice on your skin. I just don't absolutely love it. I don't know. I expected to love this product because I typically love things that are more hydrating and luminous, glowy. That's usually the type of product that I really love. And I do like this. It looks nice on my skin. It doesn't look like makeup like I was saying earlier. It's really not detectable. I just don't love it. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's okay, but it's just not my favorite. And it might be also that I'm not crazy about this concealer, so that's kind of throwing me off. Because for me, I need more coverage in my concealer. It's just not gonna work for me for more of a medium coverage. I just have discoloration under my eyes, and I always do. So I just need something that's a little bit better coverage than this. So that could be what I'm not loving, because I use that a little bit around my face as well. I will say I did really like this primer. I really liked how this applied. It went into my skin really, really easily. It wasn't sticky. It didn't look, you know how sometimes sunscreen can leave kind of a residue feel on your skin. This didn't. This set down really, really matte and kind of did feel like a mattifying primer. So I did like that, and I love that it has SPF as well. So I did really like this. I'm going to continue using the powder with some of my other foundations, but I did like it. I'm on the fence though with these two. This I like more than the concealer, but I just don't love them. I don't know. So those are my thoughts as of right now. It does not look bad by any means, and if you really like lightweight products, you might really, really like this combo together. So this is just my opinion and what I personally like, but I do think there's a possibility I might like this better if I used it with a different concealer. But I will be back in a few hours and we'll check in again and see how everything is looking. Hi guys, so I'm back for my final check-in. I'm about to take all my makeup off, but I wanted to check in one more time and give you guys my final thoughts on this foundation and the rest of these Revlon products. I like them. I just don't love it. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. And I had high hopes for this. I thought I was going to absolutely love this. And it's not horrible. I just am not over the moon crazy about it. I definitely prefer my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation or even my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I like that better, honestly. I don't know. I liked this more when I first applied it, but as I've worn it all day today, it's just not my favorite. There are just little places around my face that I don't normally notice settling, but I'm kind of noticing it, and I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it. I do want to try this out with a different concealer and maybe a different powder, just out of curiosity, because I like this when I first apply it. It's just now that I've had it on for a little while, I'm not 100% sold on it. It's okay. I think if you are looking for a very lightweight face product, you don't need to cover a lot. You just want to kind of even out your skin tone, and that's it. I think that this might be something to look into. But I will say it's called the Candid Glow, and I really don't think it's that glowy. I think it's definitely more of a natural finish when you first apply it, and then once you powder it, it looks more of a semi-matte finish to me. I'm not, like I said earlier, not a fan of this concealer. Just not enough coverage for me, but if you don't need a lot, this might be a good one for you. It is very lightweight. It was pretty easy to blend out. They had a pretty decent shade range of the concealer as well. So if you don't need a ton of coverage, you might want to try this one out. This I did really like, actually. I'm going to continue to use this with some of my other face products. I really liked how this dried down super quickly, and I love the SPF, so I will definitely continue to test this product out. And the powder I liked as well. I don't know if the powder is contributing to any of the dryness that I'm seeing, so I'm definitely going to play around with these things some more. Definitely going to play around with the foundation and try it out with some of my other favorite face products and see if I get a different result. So hopefully in another video I will have an update on this and whether or not my thoughts have changed or if they are still the same. But I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm kind of in between. So those are my thoughts for today's What's New Wednesday video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like these videos, make sure to give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on all my future What's New Wednesday videos. I do upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.